steals per contest in only 53 games. Yes, big time numbers. She was selected to the WNBA All-Star game in both of her 2 years, was selected to the WNBA All-Star team, first team, and won the 2024 Rookie of the Year. Caitlin Clark was taken first overall, which we all know, from the University of Iowa, man. The 24-year-old played 13 games during the 2025 season as she suffered.
Caitlin Clark appears to have made a notable off-court move heading into the 2026 WNBA season, and the story has been picking up serious traction across the internet over the past couple of days. The latest development surfaced recently, adding yet another layer to an already buzzing conversation surrounding the Indiana Fever guard. Clark is gearing up for her third professional season, and the numbers she has put together so far make the anticipation surrounding her return all the more significant. Across just 53 total appearances, she has averaged 18 points, 5 rebounds, 8.5 assists, and 1.4 steals per game.
Season as she suffered a severe groin injury. Now, this might come as a shocking to some. Caitlin Clark only played in 53 games, bro. 53 games. Think about all of the greatness she has done. It ain't even been that many games. So imagine how much gas Caitlin Clark still have in the tank. Now, the article goes on to say on Saturday, weeks before Caitlin Clark and the Fever began their preseason for the 2026 WNBA season,
she earned all-star recognition in both of her first 2 seasons, was named to the All-WNBA first team, and claimed the 2024 Rookie of the Year award after being selected first overall out of the University of Iowa. During the 2025 campaign, the 24-year-old was limited to only 13 appearances due to a serious groin injury. The fact that she has accomplished all of this in under 55 games raises the question of just how much more she is capable of producing moving forward. The latest headline surrounding Clark involves Barstool Sports founder Dave Portnoy, who publicly revealed that Clark had blocked him from contacting her by phone.
Began their preseason for the 2026 WNBA season. It was reported that she made an unexpected move. Barstool Sports founder David Portnoy revealed that Clark blocked him from calling her and texting him. Hold on, this the clip.
I have what I qualified as, I preface it a couple minutes before the show that I had what I thought is a bomb, and it's directly related to Bosco.
Really?
And he said, "How mad are you?" And I said, on a scale of 10, I think I'm an 11 or a 12. I'm really mad. So
Portnoy disclosed the situation during a live broadcast, describing it as a significant personal blow given how closely he had followed and supported her career. According to his account, a family member connected to the Clark household put someone on the phone during a dinner gathering, and a conversation took place that Clark's family did not appreciate. That interaction, tied in part to commentary about Iowa coach Fran McCaffrey, apparently led to Clark cutting off communication entirely. Portnoy expressed visible frustration, noting that the two had previously been in regular contact and that she had always responded to him prior to this incident.
I think I'm an 11 or a 12. I'm really mad.
So he wouldn't tell me the bomb. I asked him back over. I was like, "Do you want to tell me now?" He's like, "No, I want to."
So, and this is the truth. We're in Indianapolis. There's a WNBA team that plays here. Indiana, I am a huge fan. Yes. I've been to the games. Caitlin Clark, we stay in touch. We talk. One of my favorite athletes.
Yes.
This guy at a dinner.
Yeah.
Puts her boyfriend on the phone.
The brother. Clarify.
Somebody on the.
He described the phone going to green, a sign of being blocked and receiving no reply after multiple attempts to reach out. A colleague present during the broadcast confirmed that the dinner moment had gone sideways when a family member voiced displeasure over remarks made about his father, with Portnoy admitting he did not even realize who he was speaking to at the time. The situation escalated after the exchange went public, ultimately resulting in Clark severing contact. What stands out about this development is that Portnoy had been among Clark's most vocal supporters during the height of the Angel-Reese rivalry, which drew enormous national attention starting back in their college days.
Somebody on the phone related to this family, a McCaffrey. She blocked me. What? No! Caitlin Clark has blocked me. And
wow! Guys, I did not know this. This speaks volumes. Because we know Dave Portnoy went to bat with Caitlin Clark during that rivalry with Angel Reese. We covered it here on the channel. Go look. We've been here since college.
Despite that loyalty, Clark did not hesitate to cut ties once the situation crossed a line in her view. It sends a clear signal that Clark holds firm boundaries regardless of who the person is or how publicly they have stood behind her. There are also rumblings that Clark may be set to appear as a guest on a podcast that recently featured Sophie Cunningham, which would mark a notable media appearance ahead of the new season. If that conversation does happen, questions about the Portnoy situation would be a natural topic given how much attention it has generated.
Everybody can't say that, but we can. That's what makes us so different. But let's talk about this. David Portnoy went out on the limb for Caitlin Clark, went to war against all of the people that went against her and this Angel Reese rivalry. This is a shocking development to me because this let me know Caitlin Clark don't care who you is. If she don't like what you're putting into the atmosphere, she's going to.
The story taps into a broader reality within sports media that maintaining personal relationships with athletes while also covering them critically is a difficult balance to strike. When a boundary gets crossed, even unintentionally, those relationships can end without warning. Clark's response to this situation makes that dynamic very clear. The WNBA free agency situation has turned into a complete mess.
Caitlin Clark don't care who you is. If she don't like what you're putting into the atmosphere, she's going to block you. Now, I don't know if she blocked them on social media, but let's finish watching this. Damn, I did not know that.
Not responding to me. Yes, it is.
How is it me?
You put the phone in front of me. I didn't even know who it was. I'm like, who is this? Because they're mad about Fran McCaffrey.
Wow.
You cost me a Caitlin Clark relationship.
It's a big problem.
I don't know. Wow.
She would be here right now. She'd be on the show right now. She'd be sitting right now.
I was going to do a pizza review with her in Indianapolis.
The core problem is simple. Nobody knows when it is actually going to begin. With the season kicking off in roughly 5 weeks, players and front offices alike are still in the dark about a start date. The reason for all the confusion comes down to the CBA not being formally ratified yet. All the relevant parties, the league, the board of governors, and the players have cast their votes in favor of moving forward, but the paperwork has not been signed.
Interview with her in Indianapolis blocked me. The phone went to green. I DM'd her. No response. She always responds. You cost me my #1 relationship.
Are you kidding me?
I will get that back. No, you won't.
You will?
I'll work on it. We'll figure it
Because
out.
did you see what?
It's not me.
Did you see what he did at dinner?
Yeah, well, it's all because Fran McCaffrey got ran out of town.
But then he put a McCaffrey in front of me on a cell phone. I didn't know who I was talking about. And he's like, I don't like what you guys have been saying about my dad. I'm like, who am I even talking to?
Right.
And then it went viral.
Until that happens, no official transactions can take place. The lawyers are still working through the documentation, which means the March 10th target date came and went, eventually pushing things to March 17th, and even now the agreement has no legal standing. The expansion draft happened without a finalized CBA in place. That is not a position any professional league wants to be in heading into a new season.
What we thought was going to happen, you know the March 10th deadline? Yeah, that was kind of should have been the deadline. That should have been the deadline. It took till March 17th. So the lawyers are still drafting it, and as of right now, there is no CBA. They just made an expansion draft with no CBA. They did all this. There is currently no CBA. That is not good. That is not ideal.
What this likely means for free agency is a compressed, chaotic opening window. A useful comparison would be the 2019 NBA free agency period, when massive moves Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving to Brooklyn, the Kemba Walker sign-and trade all crashed through within minutes of the market opening. Something similar is expected here. The frenzy will be condensed because the groundwork has already been laid quietly behind the scenes.
Free agency is going to be extremely rushed. The one positive thing is that free agency is going to be like, do you guys remember the old NBA free agencies? When, like, let's say 2019 is my prime example, where it was like all the free agent moves were like the second that the free agency hit, there was like 10 new announcements. It was like Kyrie has been signed and traded to the Brooklyn Nets, or Kyrie has been.
Teams and agents have not been sitting idle. Despite the formal restrictions, conversations have been happening. Every single franchise in this league is currently tampering. That is not a controversial take. It is simply the reality of the situation. No team is going to face punishment for it because every team is doing it equally.
Or Kyrie has signed for the Brooklyn Nets. KD is signed for the Brooklyn Nets, and there's been a sign and trade for Terry Rozier and something else for Kemba Walker for the Charlotte Hornets to replace Kyrie. I remember all that happened in like 5 minutes. So I think it's going to be something like that. A lot of GMs about to make drunk decisions. No. I don't think people understand this. Like, they know, like, these teams know what the salary cap is. They already have deals made with agents. Like, teams.
Portland, Indiana, New York, all of them, any team that chose not to reach out informally would simply be left behind when the window opens. The salary structure under the new CBA is a major factor shaping how free agency will play out. The general expectation among analysts is that top-tier stars will largely stay put, but the tier just below that, the third highest earners on rosters, is where significant movement is anticipated.
Agents. Like, teams, nothing has been signed, but like, you're saying, people are saying it's like, oh, teams can't approach players. They are doing that. Like, they absolutely have everything sorted. Like, teams know, by the way, teams knew who they were going to sign and who they were going to draft, or who they think they were going to draft before the expansion draft. Like, teams know who they're signing. Like, there is.
The new money is simply too attractive for players in that range to turn down on a short-term deal. A 2-year-old free agent is not going to risk a 1-year contract because an injury in that bridge year could mean missing out on the biggest pay increase in the league's history. Long-term deals are going to dominate this cycle. Teams that handed out max contracts to players who were not truly max caliber, such as the Fever's situation with Natasha Howard, may actually benefit here, because those cap slots can now be redirected toward legitimate third stars, leaving crowded rosters elsewhere.
Like, teams know who they're signing. Like, there is a reason why the LA Sparks left Julie Allemond unprotected. They're clearly signing a point guard. There's a reason why Marina Mabry, well, they're tanking. I was trying to think off the top of my head. There's a reason why Louisa Geisel-Suter was unprotected. There's a reason why Niara Sabally was unprotected. Because they can bring over Cal Carrera, maybe Han Zhu, who's, two of them combined might cost the same as Niara Sabally. So it's one of those things where I think it's an important thing to talk about, because teams have to start tampering. Yeah, they will.
Seattle is a prime example of a team that simply cannot hold everyone. They will lose at minimum 2 of their max contract players. The Aces are widely expected to move on from, at minimum, Julie Allemand unprotected in the expansion draft signals that Los Angeles is prioritizing a point guard addition. The Mercury will likely part ways with Satu Sabally or Kayla McBride, with Sabally being the more probable departure.
Teams have to start tampering. Yeah, they will. I mean this when I say this. Nobody is going to be punished for tampering. Every single team in this league is tampering as of right now. Heck, the Portland Fire were doing some bullshit with Bridget Carlton. I'm telling you for a fact, every single team right now is tampering. They are all tampering, bar none. Every team is tampering. No one is going to be punished for tampering in this scenario. Nobody. Absolutely nobody is going to.
The Fever, despite the noise around them, appear most likely to run things back. The decision to protect Sophie Cunningham in the expansion draft suggests the roster core stays together. The Liberty situation is telling in a different way. The decision to part with Nara Sabally likely connects to a plan to bring over cheaper international options Raquel Carrera has already signed, and players like Hamu and Fdo have been linked to the organization.
Absolutely nobody is going to be punished for tampering. Like, it is what it is. Every single team is doing it. And if you don't tamper by the time free agency opens, every single player or every single team is going to have their teams already. Like, you're not going to get anyone if you don't tamper. Every single team is tampering. And not only that, where it's like, nobody knows what's going to happen. Everyone's like, oh yeah, the experts are saying players are going to all come back.
Marine Johannes' future there remains unclear. What makes the Liberty's offseason even more puzzling is that they used a late draft pick on a stashed prospect last year, only to lose her in the expansion draft entirely. That kind of outcome captures exactly the unpredictable nature of how this franchise operates.
And not only that, where it's like, nobody knows what's going to happen. Everyone's like, oh yeah, the experts are saying players are going to all come back. Like, you want to know what experts are also saying? Experts are also saying that, like, that basically the third stars, the money's too good, loads of them are going to leave. Where it's like, if you can get, like, it's not going to be a situation where, you know, the way there's like 3 max contract players that are elite max contract players on one team, but now you can only afford 2 max contract players. So the teams that were signing bad max contract players, like the Fever with the fucking Natasha Howards of the world, these like bad players signing max contracts just because
High salary, veteran-heavy rosters outside of the Connecticut Sun will find it extremely difficult to bring back their full groups. The math simply does not work when you are carrying multiple max deals and have limited flexibility underneath. Teams with young, cost-controlled depth like New York with players around their core have more room to maneuver, but even they are facing hard choices.